Today I'm talking to Dr. Leila Giron, who is one of our new CRIM fellows. We're looking forward to getting to know more about you and your project, Leila. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I wonder if we could start by just talking in simple terms, what you're going to be working on for the next 2 years for your CRIM fellowship project.
Sure. So the vast majority of people living with HIV, as soon as they stop the treatment, the viral load goes back quickly up to whatever they start the first infection. But regardless of how many years this person was on treatment, but there are a rare population of individuals they call post-treatment controller that they can control the virus for a long time without the therapy. And my goal is to understand how they do what they do and the mechanism behind it, with the overall goal that we could recapitulate this phenomena in the rest of the individuals infected with HIV, that they can achieve a functional cure. So more specifically, we analyzed in the past a large number of samples of post-treatment controllers and compared them to individuals that cannot control the virus to find what they have that is special. And we found in certain levels of metabolites in their plasma that are higher, the metabolites that are produced by their own body. And when I actually test these metabolites in in vitro system, we could see actually a direct impact on HIV.
So can I just stop you there for a moment? Let's just unpack a little bit what metabolites means. This is a product of how the cells are kind of producing their own energy.
Yeah, it can be whatever the several organs are doing. It's part of their natural metabolism. So we know some organs are producers of certain metabolites, but other organs are consumer.
Okay, so ultimately you're essentially trying to discover a way to treat regular people living with HIV so that they become people who no longer have to take antiretroviral therapy.
Exactly, that would be the ultimate goal.
What made you interested in HIV from the get-go?
Yeah, so I think during my life, since I was a kid, I knew I was always going for a medical field. I was always curious how our body works and how the disease works. But it was actually in a virology class that I first get to know the viruses and how viruses work. And I was amazed. And then by that time, I was always in between the two fields. I always like oncology, cancer, but I always also like the virology. So my solution, I start working in my bachelor in oncogenic viruses, which are viruses that cause cancer in the context of people living with HIV because they have a higher risk for this type of viruses. And then I decided after my bachelor, I ended up focusing HIV because I was so amazed how a virus can totally overthrow the cellular machinery and manipulate the immune system to its own favor. And I need to understand this and how to stop it. So that's why I chose the HIV of all the virology and all the science field.
So you're talking about, from the very early ages, your interest in science and understanding how things work. Now, I hope you don't mind that we can tell by your accent that those very early ages might not have been spent in the United States. Can you tell us a bit about your background?
Yeah, I'm Brazilian. I grew up in Brazil. I did my university was in there. I did my master and my PhD in Brazil. Part of my PhD was at UCSF as a joint. Brazil has a program that's called Sandwich Program. So you do the PhD, you do 2 years in Brazil, 1 year abroad, and the rest in Brazil. So at this time, I was at UCSF. It was when I came first time to actually do study in US.
In San Francisco?
In San Francisco, yeah. And it was actually when I realized, unfortunately, doing science in Brazil is very hard. And here's a lot of, it's more like, I think the pace here is much more like, is the way I like, let's do it. And like, I don't want, like, I'm so like hyper and I want to do stuff. And so I came back after I went back to Brazil, finished my PhD, to come back to Worcester to start my postdoc.
Worcester in Philadelphia.
Correct.
Well, you sound like a lady who doesn't spend a lot of time relaxing, but I happen to know because you told me about the picture behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is it's a puzzle. I love doing puzzles. And exactly, sometimes I need to like, okay, time to go home. And this is the kind of thing I do when I just want to don't think about anything else. I completely lost track of time when I'm doing this just to relax. And this is a puzzle and it's 6,000 pieces. Yeah, it took a year, but it's done. And but this is not the first one. I have one in my home back in Brazil, which is 5,000. So I did the 5,000 and this is the 6,000. Now maybe I would go for 7,000.
Wow. Well, I guess that speaks to your determination. So
Right.
on that theme, how do you ultimately see your career playing out?
Mm-hmm. So I think I have a decent experience in virology that I gained from my master's and my PhD, and all this time I work in HIV in Brazil, and as well as when I joined Worcester as a postdoc. And the work I did in my postdoc training suggested us that this interface between virology, immune metabolism, and the epigenetics, that is all this proposal is about, this interface might be a key in the HIV cure field. But now this intersection between the epigenetics and the immune metabolism is not well explored in the HIV.
Well, tell us first what you mean by epigenetics.
Yeah, epigenetics is something that you can do to the cell, that it's actually a switch. It's an on and off button to the cell to produce or not a gene. So let's say to produce HIV or not, or another gene that will regulate HIV or not. So that's like in a nutshell, the concept of epigenetics. And this is how environment can affect what our body does. So this has not been totally investigated in the HIV field. However, this intersection between the metabolites and the epigenetics in the cancer field is very advanced and led them to many discoveries on how we understand the cancer. So what I am now in a very unique, great position at Worcester Institute, which is a cancer institute, that there are many labs working with HIV and many labs working in this intersection in the cancer. So what my goal is with this fellowship is to learn everything I can in this intersection in the cancer field, added it to my virology background. And this will not only help me to advance my career to crave a niche to my future independence, but I think will always help the field to see advantage in these three and how we can get this field to more cure-related stuff. And I think this fellowship and the acceptance of this new concept that's not a lot of people working on it show us that this is something that is deserved to be explored.
So your long-term goal is to be an independent researcher running your own lab?
Yeah, and then use this opportunity I'm having now to actually learn a new field, bring this to the HIV. We know the cancer and the HIV research, they always have been in the past. We take stuff from each other. And this, I think, will be also something that's very advanced in the cancer that we can use for the HIV. So that's my ultimate goal. I have my own research, my own lab, and this will be the theme of it.
Okay, great. Well, we wish you all the best of luck with your career. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Love that picture behind you. Congratulations on that too.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me and for this very prestige award. And I hope we have more excited results coming in the next years.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.